tell you what Montessori means to me, I see that it's the way forward, so it's the holy grail of aged care. It breaks my heart walking through aged care facilities and seeing our older adults sitting on chairs along walls, sleeping, curled up in their chair in an awkward position. That's not what our older people deserve. So, Montessori isn't about what I want or what you want. It's all about what is ethically right for our older adults.
Montessori really is about a new way to deliver aged care, and it's a total paradigm shift where we move to a model that focuses on strengths and on capabilities rather than on deficits. It is based on the original work of Dr. Maria Montessori, and it is her philosophy and vision, I guess, that transfers over into the aged care environment, where we're talking about enabling people to be as independent as possible.
We can use Montessori to increase people's independence and as a tool to foster like a restorative or rehabilitation approach. So we've done this particularly in our high care facilities. So by engaging residents in simple tasks like sorting colours using either their hands and then upgrading it to maybe using a spoon, an easy spoon, and then tongs. So gradually the task is getting harder and harder. The person is using their hands and they're concentrating, and by getting them to to practice over and over, it then maintains their function in other tasks such as meals. So that would be an example of using that fine motor. Another example of maintaining someone's independence is the use of a schedule in their room. So someone who's consistently asking for, what do I do now? What am I going to do now? Or what's happening? There's nothing on. With someone like that, we've created a schedule, so with times and what they're to do at that time, so that it prevents them getting that lost and helpless feeling, and that they know they can then, they're directed to look at that schedule and practice. Okay, at 10 o'clock I help to set up the table, at 2 o'clock I go to an activity. So it helps to fill their day in a meaningful way. Your life is defined by the roles you are. And think about when our residents come in, they often don't see their friends and family. So the only role they've got is the role of resident, and would you like that role? They can often be such passive recipients of care, whereas when they're actually invited to help, and this generation, they love to help. This is who they are. They're the Aussie battlers. They've always, they've helped their neighbour. They've borrowed sugar from their next door neighbour. They've always helped. That's what got them through the Depression and the war years. So you're tapping into the core essence of who that person is and who that person's always been. So it may seem like something little like delivering the mail, but to that person, they feel like they're contributing and that they belong, and that they've got a great way to spend their day. One of the simplest things that we've put in place is the use of the name badges. So there's always pros and cons. People always worry that this is a resident's home and that having name badges, you wouldn't have them in your home. But we need to remember that people with dementia, people with older adults or new staff or agency staff, they don't know people's names, and so we need to give them that support in their environment. So by purchasing a name badge for $7 and everyone's starting to wear them, we've seen an amazing change in our residents. Our residents are now empowered to greet us first, rather than us always having to say, oh, hello Joyce, how are you? They can go, oh, hi Elizabeth. And so they are initiating the conversation, which is one of the things that you often don't see in a residential care facility. Often they require us to initiate, but by the use of something as simple as a $7 name badge, we are then empowering our residents. Our families are really interested in getting name badges as well, and it's great that the organisation has embraced it. So rather than having, a big logo with a little name and no one being able to actually read it, now by having it as a full-size name badge, it just makes perfect sense. Some of the challenges that have been associated with implementing is the fact that it's such a big change. It changes everything that you do, from the way you interview someone, to your documentation system, to your policies and procedures, to the way you speak to a resident, to the way you plan an activity program. So every part of your service is impacted by having this philosophy. So that is the hardest thing, is that everything that you've done for the 10 years I've been in aged care is you have to reconsider it and think, is this the best way? Is there a better way? What Montessori means to me is it's the true essence of being person-centred. So it forgets everything that we've done in the past and it brings us back to what that resident needs at that moment. So, and that's why I am so passionate about it, because we're always trying to work hard and do a good job, but sometimes we miss the point of, why we're here, the fact that we are here for residents. Our staff, we go home at the end of the day. Our residents are here day in, day out, and what it means to me is that it moves this mindset from just that, of an OT or of lifestyle, to become everyone's responsibility, and that's the thing that's going to make the change, is that it becomes part of everyone's role.